Tonight, you will walk into a dark room. Your hand will move to the wall before you even think about it. Your heart rate will tick up, just slightly, in the half second before the light switches on. There is nothing in that room. You know there is nothing in that room, but for a fraction of a second, some part of you was not so sure. That feeling has a name. Scientists call it threat anticipation, but your ancestors had a simpler word for it. They just called it staying alive. For most of human history, the dark was not empty. It was full. Teeth, claws, eyes that caught the firelight. Your brain was built in that world. Not this one. The part of your brain responsible for that flicker of fear is older than language, older than fire. It is called the amygdala, a small cluster of neurons deep in your skull, and its only job is threat detection. It does not know what year it is. It only knows one thing: dark plus unknown equals danger. So why does a feeling from hundreds of thousands of years ago still run your body today? The answer starts almost 2 million years ago on the grasslands of East Africa. Your early ancestors were not the strongest animals out there. Compared to a leopard or a hyena, an early hominin was slow, soft, and badly armed. What they had instead was a group, a fire, and a nervous system that flagged danger first. Anthropologist Sarah Blaffer Hrdy has studied this period, and her research points to something important. Survival did not depend on being the toughest individual. It depended on cooperation and on shared, constant vigilance. The humans who survived were not the bravest. They were the ones who flinched at the right moment. That flinch was not weakness, it was data. A rustle in the grass might be wind. It might also be a predator stalking downwind, where your nose could not catch the scent. Natural selection rewards being cautious enough, often enough, for long enough. Every person alive today is descended from an unbroken chain of ancestors who, every single night, for tens of thousands of generations, avoided being eaten in the dark. One bad night, just one, and that lineage ends. You are the end result of that streak. So when your pulse quickens in an unfamiliar room, you are not malfunctioning. You are running a program with a perfect track record. But here is where it gets strange. The world changed far faster than your biology could keep up with. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman, working alongside Amos Tversky, spent years mapping how the mind makes fast, automatic judgments under uncertainty. Kahneman called this fast-thinking System 1. It reacts first and explains itself later, if it bothers to explain itself at all. System 1 is exactly what activates when you walk into a dark room. It is not calculating the actual likelihood of a predator in your hallway, which is close to zero. It is running an ancient script. Dark, unknown, react. Your slower, rational thinking, what Kahneman called System 2, can override that fear. It can remind you the door is locked. But System 2 is slow. By the time it switches on, System 1 has already done its job. Your hand is already reaching for the light switch. In the world your ancestors lived in, hesitation could be fatal. So your body still chooses speed over accuracy every time. The fear of the dark has not disappeared. It has simply changed targets. You probably do not worry about leopards anymore, but you might check the locks twice before bed. You might feel a jolt of unease when your phone buzzes at 2 a.m. with an unknown number. This is the same amygdala, the same ancient alarm system. Neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux has shown that the amygdala does not distinguish neatly between a physical threat and a psychological one. Public humiliation and a predator's lunge trigger remarkably similar alarm responses. Your ancestors feared exclusion from the group almost as much as they feared the dark, because being cast out of the tribe was, in its own way, a death sentence. That fear is still running. It looks like checking how many people liked your post. It looks like the dread before you open an email from your boss. Is any of that rational? Not really. It was never built to be rational. It was built to be fast. So what do you do with an alarm system reacting to a world that no longer exists? You cannot turn it off. Nobody can. But you can recognize the alarm for what it is. Not a fact about the world, but a holdover from a world that is gone. The flicker of unease is not a warning. It is an echo. So tonight, When you walk into that dark room and your hand moves to the wall before you even think about it, pause for 1 second before you flip the switch. Notice the flicker. That is not weakness. That is roughly 2 million years of ancestors who did not get eaten, all of them speaking through you at once. The room is empty. You already knew that. But some part of you, the oldest part, is still checking.